So this last tutorial is to show you how to work with some color palettes in Illustrator and what I'd like you to do for that last step. So we have our concepts, our 3 versions of our best. We have the combination logo where you tried out different layouts as well as different font combinations and sizes. And this very last step is to create some different variations of how you apply different color palettes. So once you decide on your very final logo, you will pick that and make any revisions you need to that final logo. Whether you change the font or move a few things closer together or make some few tweaks to your final logo. And then you are going to create 3 little boxes. And so you'll copy and paste the black and white logo 3 times, okay? And then you're going to create 3 little boxes using the shape tool. So you just click the shift key and draw some squares and hold the option shift key to make a copy and make an option shift key to make a copy again, okay? So you're going to make 3 squares next to the logo, and before you even start applying the logo you need to decide on some color palettes. Thinking about color scheme and how color scheme plays a really important role in how colors work really well together. And so I'm going to start with a color that I know that I want to use, and I'm just going to say like maybe this kind of start with a yellow, and from there I want to modify it a little bit. I can double click the color picker and I can add black. I don't really like what happens to yellow when I add black, which is a shade, or I could add a little white to make it more of a tint of yellow, okay? If I want to save that color, I can drag it down to the swatch menu. All right, so now if I want to create a new custom color, I go up to my swatch menu and I do new swatch from the little drop down there. I can add blue to the yellow. I can add a little magenta. I can play around with the balance of the colors. And you can also input a value, a percentage value of cyan, magenta, yellow, and black if you already have a code to put in. That will help you match the color, and then you can, anytime you do a new swatch, it just automatically adds it to the swatch menu. Another really useful place to start with, here's another tool, is if you go to Window and you scroll down to Swatch Libraries. There's all of these great little libraries that have already got some color palettes kind of put together for you already. So I'm going to pull up the earth tones, and because it's an organics company, I kind of want to go with some earthy tones. Here's some nice colors that they have already picked, and so you could use any one of those swatch libraries as a resource to start with picking your colors, picking a color palette. Also, if you go to color books, here's where you find those Pantone, those universal colors. So if you were working with a real client, you would want to choose Pantone colors that they could use in the future. All right, so if I have my palette here, and let's say I want to kind of pick some of these colors, I'm going to apply them to my swatches over here. And then what you can do is you can just start applying the logo, so applying the color to the logo. So I'm going to select the shapes that I want to apply the color, and then I can select my eyedropper tool, and I can just eyedropper that shape. And I'm holding the shift key while I select with the white arrow the other shapes. I'm going to see what the white would look like in this kind of cream color, and I can decide whether or not I like that or if I want to modify it. Maybe I want to go a little lighter with one of these. I think that probably works a little better. So I'm going to change this swatch to the one that I used. And then you're going to apply the color to the text as well. And here's where you may want to convert your text into outlines at this point so that it's just a little easier to select. If you were preparing files for your client, you would definitely want to outline the fonts for them because they may not ever have the fonts available to them, in which case the outlines won't require the fonts. Okay, so we need to ungroup these. Then I can select my letters, okay? And I'm going to apply blue, and then I'm going to apply maybe the purple to this one. So there's lots of different ways that you can apply the colors. So this very top one is a perfect example. We have the teal, the lime green, and the brown. And then over here we've taken that same color palette and we've applied it to the logo in a very different way. So I want you to try out lots of solutions and see what works best. And then from there you can decide on the top 3 options of the 3 color palettes that you chose you are going to put on Artboard 4 for turning in for your very last submission for the logo development piece. Let me say one more thing about what if your logo doesn't have a fill and it's naturally just an outline. So maybe it's got something like this where, let's see, because not all of your logo might have it might not have every shape as a fill. Okay, so this is my logo here. I need to do some work in getting this little piece cut off here. But maybe these don't have, maybe they don't have a fill and they have an outline instead. Okay, so let's just take this for example. This is an outline. You can see down here that it's an outline with a green outline and no fill. When you create those custom colors, you have to make sure to select just the outline and then apply the colors, okay, instead of selecting the fill every time. So if you have a logo where it requires you to create an outline, you have to make sure you're filling the outline and not the fill. And that's it.